All right, so this guy, I've been hooked on some of his content, and another guy that I would later introduce. But he literally is playing the game and talking about his life experience and things and business plans that he's doing, and is giving good source of free will information that helps people. And basically, this topic right here is how 5 years can hyper focus can take you from $0 to $1 million, and he has some valid points in here. So let's go ahead and get straight to it.
All right, so this one's going to be a little bit different. This is just totally kind of ranting off the cuff, very unscripted, if you will. I don't normally use a full script, but I'm using absolutely nothing. This is just a straight conversation talking about, in my opinion, 5 years of focus can set you up for the rest of your life to a point where if you want true freedom, if you never want to work again, if you just put your head down for 5 honest years, you most likely can come out that side never having to work again with enough.
Did y'all hear that? 5 years, just 5 years. And I believe him. I know because I've seen it a million times. I've seen it.
Money banked with enough of success that you could just do whatever the hell you want. And I think it's really cool that we live in a day and age where that's possible. That obviously wasn't possible even, in my opinion, 20, 30 years ago. You had to grind it out for a few decades at minimum, but we are seeing more of a commonality of so many things happening. And you don't have to be the next Elon Musk or Tony Stark to do this kind of stuff, right? Like there's just quote unquote average people, call them streamers if you want to talk about this niche. There's a lot of businesses that are selling and starting that they only started 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'll talk more about like my personal story, but I'm really fascinated by this concept. Maybe I'll throw a screenshot up of this, but there's a what's it called, a thread on Reddit or a forum on Reddit that I follow called Fatfire. It should be just literally reddit.com/fatfire, literally exactly as it sounds. It's basically the FIRE movement, the financially independent retire early movement, but with people on a much, much larger scale, talking multiple 8 figures, sometimes even 9 figures of real life.
Don't let this scare you. Anybody who's joining in about hearing those big numbers or about retirement and feel like, well, shoot, I'm at a time where I can't even think about retirement because I'm barely trying to figure out how to pay my bills. Don't let that scare you, right? He's going to go into some very valid points and mind frames that'll shift your mindset.
People in their sometimes 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s talking about how they just grinded it out for a certain amount of years, be it 5 to 10 years, and they are now free. They don't have to ever work again. Some are slightly, they go as far as being depressed. Some are completely set and super happy and want to just do hobbies for the rest of their life. It's really interesting. So I highly recommend you go check out that thread. It is verified, meaning mods will verify with screenshots of bank balances, with everything. And it's just a really cool thread to read on I'm in there a couple times a week. I just like to see what people are up to. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I even think of myself, right? It's taken me a little bit longer than 5 years, but from starting my business to now, almost 3 years to the day. It'll be 3 years in 12 days, 14 days, something like that.
Congrats.
Actually, I think it was towards end of January. So almost 3 years to the day, where it's like I've made enough money on a FIRE scale, I would say, where it's like I could, if I really needed to, I could live off that money for probably 12 to 15 years. If I chose tomorrow at my current monthly expense ratio, I could never work for about 13 years. Post-tax, net, I could just do nothing for 13 years and be okay. Now, am I going to do that? Absolutely not. Do I want to do that? No. I want to continue working. I think I'll always continue working, but it's just a really...
No way he just said there, because, when you get to a certain point, we all think that, like, when you don't have as much income coming in, or you're just, barely making it, and you're paying all your bills, though, you think, man, when I make a certain amount of money, I'll never work again in my life. Not true. Once if that was the case, you look at Elon Musk. I mean, this guy, has so much money, but still works day and night, on his company and stuff. It's something about when you really get into that financial freedom and you're able to have control of your own free will. You still choose to work because you understand that how blessed and favored you are by the hard work that you put in to get that, and you want to continue to maintain and put that work in to keep those blessings coming in, right? So, and also, I think it's a little over the top when people saying like not want to work. I think people just don't want to work and do something that they just don't enjoy doing that doesn't get them fulfillment in life. I think that's what it is. It's not that people don't want to work, right? But again, you have to build up those skills. You have to build up the skills. You gotta be willing to uh, be persistent and also have strategy to how you're going to take that leap of faith into building your own business or going to chase that dream job you want to chase.
Interesting concept that, it's taken me 3 years. These next 2 years, hopefully I'm hopefully getting to that point where I'm literally just going to have enough. And if I, really want to grind it out more, I can, but chances are like I'm going to be in a position to where hopefully we're sitting on enough of a nest egg that just generates more than my active income. And there's different stages of businesses, right? There's like survival mode where it's like, I just got to get my bills paid. I just got to get out of this rut that I'm in debt, whatnot. But then there's that stage where it's like, okay, I got some money flowing in, my bills are comfortably paid, and I'm stacking enough cash to where this is happening. I'm in my cash collection phase, my cash flow appreciation phase, if you will. Look at this kid, dies on painkiller. I don't know if I was close to the nuke, but I was so pissed when I got that. I want other people to view life this way, right? Like I want you to realize your entire life can change in a year. I'm still a big proponent of that. But for you to make a life-changing amount of money in a year, it's very unlikely. And I think, social media is kind of really screwed with our heads to be like, oh my God, like this guy's making so much money in 6 months, and it's a lot of crypto.
It is, and I'm gonna play it. That is a thing, man. It's a thing. It got me. It got me. You're thinking that you can make that much amount of money in a year when those are anomalies. No, it's possible, but there's certain elements that has to happen to appear where you can be able to cash in on those situations and also being ready, right? So, I think we have to all be mindful, like, okay, yes, your life could change in a year, and it can totally change. That's without a doubt correct, right? Like your life can change within a year, but it's also what are we doing to not only guarantee that our life can change within a year, but to guarantee that our life will be good but then down the years to come, right?
Unfortunately, I'm a big believer in crypto, but I just think the wrong type of people are in there, unfortunately. And it's just such an interesting concept to be like, well, if you really give this thing, your life can change in a year, but your financial situation can like drastically change in 5 years. Now, I'm a big proponent of a decade. Like you work hard in your 20s. Maybe I'll make a separate video on this, but I think I'll just keep it as this. It's like if you work hard in your 20s, you can literally, be set by your 30s. And that's honest. I firmly believe that, especially in.
I'm gonna say this one time and I'll let it play out. I agree with that too. Big proponent of having patience and thinking not within a year, but in a span of 10 years, a decade. Down the line like that. They always say, and I hear a lot that wealthy people they think more of generational years than just a few months, than just a year, than just 2 years. Like they think far beyond when they're gone, or 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line, 15 years, 20 years down the line, what would the result of them planting this seed, what would this turn out to be? And it's what I think messes us up as young generations is we think short term and want it like this so quick that we forget that, if you just stay on something for 5 years and stop chasing everything because you see the new shiny thing, you will get your success way faster than you would spending the next 5 years chasing everything. Alex Amosi says this. Gary Vee says this. A lot of your people who are success and entrepreneurs that are big on the internet, they would tell you it's about compounding uh interest of like putting the work in towards what you're doing and adjusting and working along that.
In today's day and age of the internet and just being able to make money from so many different ways, if you just grind it out for 10 years, you could be set by 30. And I didn't grind hard enough. I don't think I worked hard enough on the right opportunities, I would say. I was always a hard worker. You could be the hardest worker in the room. It doesn't matter. You need leverage. You need things working while you sleep, right? That could be your money. That could mean content systems or videos. That could be employees, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter if you want to work 15 hours a day. You are capped. Every human has 24 hours in these days, and it does not matter how hard you work. It matters the systems you have in place and the people and things working for you while you're not even there, right? That's the goal. That's the what I'm trying to achieve. It's like, I wouldn't say I'm lazy, but I'm definitely like, I've always been the type of kid to, especially in like math class or something, try to just find the solution, try to just cheat my way in school. And as bad as that sounds, it kind of got me out of high school. I barely graduated still, but that got me to a point where it's like, hey, you know what? I'd rather work smarter, not harder. Now, in my opinion, you have to do both, but still, it's like, if you can find these hacks, do it, dude. If I can get to step 10 in half the time that it's going to take me to go through all step 1 to 10 by myself, it's like, I'm going to do it, right? So I know this sounds kind of confusing. I know I'm kind of rambling there, but it's just the concept of like, try to find systems and things that can work in your favor while you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
That is ultimate joy, in my opinion, is when things are off my plate, I just choose to do whatever the hell I want to do at that given moment. And I'm not bound by one said thing or item, if you will. So I don't know, more just a thought of like, whatever it is you want to focus on, verify that can make you enough money, okay? You know, the vehicle is so important here. You could be a 10 out of 10 person, but if you're in a 2 out of 10 opportunity, it doesn't matter how hard you row that boat, you're going to be
hold up.
stuck there. You're going to be at a 10 opportunity. It doesn't matter how hard you row that boat, you're going to be stuck there. You're going to be only flowing for as, high as that can go. Right?
Oh my God. Yo, that is a bar. It's a bar. They say this, like, your body is only as good as far as what you put in it, what you consume, right? It's only going to operate the way only of what you consume. So you consume bad things, then your body is not going to operate the fullest 100%. It's the same thing of what you do as far as what you put your time and your trust into building a system, and whether it's a business, whether it's working for a business that's not your business that you own, a company, whether it's going to school, whether it's YouTube, whether it's a certain niche, whether whatever the case might be. Your success is dictated about how successful is already predicted. I give you an example. You ever realize and you watch Shark Tank or these investors, and they ask, like, what are you projected to do the next 3 to 5 years, right? Why do they ask that? They ask that because they want to see within the next couple of years, not what you're making right now. That's cool, but in the next projected 3 to 5 years, what are you projecting to make? What are you able to bring to the table, and how can we actually make this into a profitable business, right? And if they don't see any longevity in it, why would they waste their time to invest into something that's going to be bound to fail? They also look at situations like this where they're like, okay, is this something that has a cap to it? And is it just a quick cash grab? Or is this something that we can actually scale long term in a couple of years and triple, quadruple our funds back into our pockets? So,
and I've talked about this, I think, on my Wylearn Dualcom, which was really awesome. And it was really cool to bring that up of like, you got to find the right thing to work on, man. You could be an incredible salesperson working at a freaking car dealership that sells Hyundais. Like, no offense, it's not going to get you places. If you want to really make a killing, go eventually work at that Lambo dealership. Go work at McLaren. Go take your skills and expertise to a software company that could pay you 300, 500 grand a year, right? So just think of that. That's the whole point of this video. Is I'm going to title this something along like still 5 years of focus, but there's a lot more aspects to it.
Yeah.
And again, apologies if this is kind of all over the place. It's purposely meant to be that way, but I just really think it's important. And in 2025, this is what I'm chasing, is like, rather than work hard and have all these audacious goals, it's like, what are just 1 to 2, maybe 3 things at most that I can accomplish for sure, while I'm still, working hard for sure, but things are working harder than I am. And that could be my money, that could be my content, that could be whatever. That's what I'm trying to get to. And in 5 years, for me, hopefully by 30 and in the next 4 years, we just make a killing and we don't have to work again if we don't want to. So as always, if you made it this far, I want to see you win. Leave a comment below with
By
what
the
you're...
way, and I put like this too. Shout out to my homie, you know what I'm saying, BizPath. I'm gonna have his link in the description. But I say this, can give you guys an idea of me, my goal. This goal for this channel. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. My goal is to basically go over things like this and bring value alongside with something that's out there that's already has value and attached to it, and bring value alongside. I have another channel that's about to be at 10K subscribers. It's more of a reactions with music and entertainment stuff. But for me, I started to feel that I wasn't able to bring value in a way, and it hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I love doing what I'm doing over there, but it's not something that I'm truly passionate about. My most passionate thing is to try to bring value, to inspire, to create the spark, to inspire people, to give helpful information, to speak my thoughts about life and stuff that I've experienced in my own lifetime, and things that maybe can shorten the path in time for someone else, right? My goal for this channel is really to do that. And on top of that, my whole thing is, what I'm doing is I have multiple channels that I'm building. Again, I have a channel that's already monetized. It's about to hit 10K subscribers this month. And I have this channel plus another 2 or 3 channels that I got that I'm going to be building. And I'm spending 5 years. I'm going to spend 5 years building, putting time into it while I'm working on other things, right? I have 2 jobs that I'm working. They're decent, right? They bring me in about 3K a month. Really not too impressive, yes, but it helps take care of the bills. FedEx and Lowe's, that's what I'm doing. And I got an interview to do. It's more remote when it comes to sales. So sales remote at home. So it's going to be more flexible too as well. So I'm going to plan on trying to lock down on 3 jobs while still doing the YouTube and everything. And that's pretty much, I can make a video just talking about the mindset. You probably be like, damn, man, like that's a lot of work you're doing, but I don't see how you can do that. People would tell me like, man, you just young. I don't see it. You can do it. You can do it. It's all about how much you want it and what you want to put aside. And there's days where I just don't feel like doing nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's days where I don't feel like making content. There's days where I don't feel like doing something. But I have to remind myself, it's like, yo, do you want to go the rest of your years with doubt and remorse and like feeling bad that you didn't go all the way in and push to something? Or you just gonna just continue to just let life hit you in the mouth? Or you gonna actually get up and go do something, so within the 5 years time span you have something? And I got a lot to go into that, because I have so much value to talk about that itself, and I can make a video on that itself on separate if you guys want to. But anyway, hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one. Peace.